In this video, I'm going to show you one simple tip to calm any nerves. It's so simple that you do it with your vision alone. You can do it anytime, anywhere. It only takes a few seconds and no one else will even know that you're doing it. But this simple and easy action is backed by the latest neuroscience and it gets you powerful results. It acts to calm your nerves so that you can perform music fearlessly and without anxiety. Now, this tip is really simple, but I hope you'll stick around to hear why it works, because otherwise it's easy to assume that such a simple thing just can't be so effective. And I came across it through the top neuroscientist, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he runs a research lab looking into fear and anxiety and all that. And this is his top recommendation for a simple thing that you can do to calm nerves, to calm anxiety. And all it is that you switch from focus vision to what he calls panoramic vision. And if you do yoga or mindfulness or something like that, you might know it as a soft gaze. So you're going from being focused on one particular point, vision in on one area, to dialing your gaze outward so that you're taking in perhaps the ceiling, the floor, the walls, a much wider, using your whole peripheral vision there. And this will happen quite naturally as you're walking down the street, for example, or something like that. And you will do the opposite. You will be focused in if you're looking at your phone or reading something, or very definite vision in one place. So all you're doing in this is just taking a second to dial your gaze out, and so that you can see the whole area around you, ceiling, floor, walls, rather than being focused in on one little point. And so the important thing here is that you're not darting your eyes all around the place in order to see everything. You're keeping your eyes stationary and just allowing your gaze, your focus, to dial out so that you can see things. And really easy to do, just takes a second. No one will know you're doing it. So for example, I'm just going to do that right now. So I'm focused in on looking at you at the lens now, and now I've just let the gaze dial out. I can see everything in there. I can bring it back in again, and I don't know, but I'm guessing you probably wouldn't have seen that. Really interesting thing. So we'll go in a second as into why this has the effect on calming you down, but it does other stuff as well. So this is really interesting circuit in the brain that this triggers. And one of the other things that it does is apparently much better at helping you see and target sort of things that are moving, stuff that's out there, where something is rather than what it is. And so your reaction speed can get up to 4 times faster. So really important for things such as sports, things like that. So we're not going to go into that today, but you might be interested in those sorts of things. So how does this work? How can simply changing your focus, your vision, calm your nerves? And what it's doing is it's not actually triggering something new, doing something extra. It's actually disengaging a circuit in your brain that is responsible for alertness and vigilance. So if you imagine you're driving a car and you want to go slower, there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can put the brake on, or you can take your foot off the accelerator. So actively stamp on the brake and physically just try and slow things down. Or if you take your foot off the accelerator, the gas, things will just naturally start to slow down as you're not keeping that forward motion, that forward drive going. And this is what you're doing here. When you are focused in on something, you've got that potential alertness, vigilance circuit triggered in your brain. And when you just let your gaze be soft and go out, this is taking that, disengaging that circuit. So it's no longer feeding that stress response, let's get ready for action. And you can look at this as kind of reverse engineering things. One of the things that tends to happen when we get anxious, when we get nervous about something, is our gaze does tend to dart around. You're looking for, what is this threat? Can I identify something? What are all these things here? So when you deliberately let your gaze dial out and that soft, full vision, It's kind of sending a signal to your body that you're not anticipating any threats out there. And it disengages this circuit which is potentially pushing that anxiety. So this is really simple and easy to do. I definitely recommend that you give it a try. And the really nice thing about it is that it's quick. It just takes a second or two. You do not need some long, calm period away from everyone in order to employ this technique. There are lots of other ways you can work to calm yourself, but this is one of the quickest ones. And also, it's not obvious. You can be doing it in whatever situation it is. For us musicians, it will probably be just before or actually when you're up on stage performing, great time to do it. But you can use it in all areas of life and no one needs to know that you're doing it because your eyes stay still, you're just changing the focus a little bit. And the one thing that I would suggest is don't just say, oh, that's great, I'll use that sometime when I need it. Practice it a little bit. Just takes a few seconds, and practice it in a few different spaces, a few different situations, because what you're getting used to is not just, well, can I do it? That's pretty simple, but also the idea that if I get in a situation where I'm getting nervous, anxious, this is a response that I have available to me, because one of the hallmarks of those situations is you're perhaps not thinking as well as you might. So it's really common to get into some of those situations, pressure is rising, you're feeling anxious, and afterwards you realize, wow, okay, there are all these things I could have done. I should have done those, but I didn't think of them in the moment. So just having deliberately practiced something like this a good number of times before means that it will come to you. You will be aware of it as an option if you get into some of those nervous situations. And I mentioned that there are other options for calming nerves. So if you'd like to go into those, then I would definitely recommend checking out my video on 6 performance anxiety tips next. And if you'd like the special practice and performance tips that I only share with subscribers, then head on over to playinthezone.com and sign up for the emails. They're free. I've been Morley-Fletcher. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.